I love this car. What's going on, guys? How y'all doing? This is one of my favorite cars in the game. And when you guys asked about the build yesterday, I completely forgot to even make a video on this car, even though I've been using it since like the first week of launch. I don't know why I've never made a video, but I figured I'd come up to the Togi section, show you guys the capability of it. This thing is quick. This is my C5 that I use for the Elite race. Same car from the Money Grind video. That's the reply I got. Man, this car, it's a blast to drive through Toge section. I did end up having a GTR build. I kind of tended to use that on like the highway races, and then used this one whenever I would see like a Toge section or, you know, city area where I'm going to be turning a lot. But I honestly think that overall this car was better for the C5 class. It's just a fun car to drive. After we get through this Toge section, I'll go out on the highway and I'll show you guys what it does out there. This thing is quick. It's actually, viewer asked me to do a build on the AMG, and this thing being in C5 is actually faster than the AMG in C6, which is just kind of crazy to me. I'll put money on it. I could race against this car in the C6 AMG, and I'd whoop it. I'm sitting here focusing on talking to you guys and not shifting. But you guys can just see the handling this thing has. This is like an ultimate max grip build. Guttering every corner like a noob. I'm a sucker for EVOs, I love them. That and 22Bs, the old Subarus. I wish I would fix that sound bug. You get like, I don't know if you guys can hear that, any of you guys that got headphones on, but you can hear it sounds like you're in a tunnel through that whole area even though you're not. And I've seen a couple spots where I'll be driving like out on open roads and it'll give me like a tunnel sound. I wish they would fix that bug. I wonder if they even know it does that. Also that brake squeak, man. Can we get like a slider to adjust the sound of that brake squeak? I got perforated eardrums and it's kind of like just irritating. But yeah, let's get out on the highway and show a top speed run real quick, and then I'll go ahead and get into the tuning. Thing don't sound bad either. Got a kind of decent sound. It's not the best, but I do like it. Like there through dips and divots, you can just feel how good this car handles. And like I was talking about the AMG that I have built for the C6 class, that thing has trouble even getting up to the 300 kilometer area with nitrous. And you can see this car, I'm cruising through these I would consider these light curves. I'm cruising through light curves doing almost 290. And this is literally a class lower. 300 easy. Out on good open straights, you can easily get this car up to 320. I think I might make a drift build out of this thing pretty soon, but I'm using it to money grind, so I haven't wanted to do that. This is just a fun car. It's especially fun if you guys play on a wheel and you want to go run some no Hesse style on the game. This car is a blast on a wheel. We're just running through traffic as fast as you can. Let's hit that 300 again real quick, and then I'll go show you guys this tune. I just love driving this car. It's an absolute bet. Like, it's just a blast to drive. I love it. It's fun. It handles good. It's quick. Surprisingly faster than some C6 cars. You know, obviously not fully blown C6 cars, but it is fun. And if you guys want to build it for C6, run the same exact tune that I'm going to show you guys for the suspension, and then just put more horsepower on it. That's literally all you got to do to make a C6 build out of it. But I've been running this for C5 for about 2 weeks now, and it's what I've been using to money grind. Go ahead and go through, I'll go through the parts before the tune. I did go ahead and use some street coins on that big turbo. Most everything's ultimate on this car except for a couple parts. I'll go through the parts first and then I'll show you guys the tune. All-wheel drive, stock, aerodynamics. One of the reasons why this car handles so good. Now the AMG actually handled very good, and I didn't even put aerodynamic on it, which was kind of crazy. So it's like you kind of get one thing on one car, one on another. You know what I mean? Ultimate wheels, 345s all around. And I did have somebody arguing with me in chat one night saying that these big tires were slowing it down. So I went and did a test on that. The wider tires don't do anything but give you more acceleration. They actually don't slow your top speed down. They don't slow your acceleration at high speed. Kind of cool that they did that. Just like how putting a big massive spoiler on the back of your car doesn't actually affect your downforce. And the camshafts, I have the cylinder head and the camshafts are set to here just to keep it in the C5 class. Transmission tunings. First gear dropped down a little bit. Sixth gear I popped up just a notch. Let's see, that final drive ratio comes over 1 notch. And differential locking, I didn't put anything. Usually some of my other all-wheel drive builds, I'll put them up like kind of in the middle, so that way I can get a little bit quicker launch. But this car seems to get a very good launch anyways. And then when I did run the diff like halfway up, it seemed to get like kind of tail happy at times. So I ended up bringing it back down, and it was all good. I actually bought and sold this car and then rebought it again. Downforce all the way up, air resistance all the way down. And then I'm just going to skim through the suspension tunings. The spring length I dropped quite a bit, and then the stiffness I brought up. You can see the ride height is pretty good. You don't want to go too low, otherwise when you get out onto those highway areas and you're like getting the little dips and divots through the highway, the car will be bottoming out, and then you won't gain speed. You'll actually start having trouble gaining speed on high end. Caster angle default, camber default, Ackerman all the way down. This will help you quite a bit from spinning out and getting the rear end loose. Steering angle all the way up, which is one of the reasons why you're able to turn so fast through those toge areas. Wheel toe is default. Now on some of my other builds, I've been going with the positive toe on this game, which is really weird that some of the cars handle better with the positive toe. You would think a negative toe, which is when, you know, the front of the tires are spread out, which is usually how people like in NASCAR, when they're running on the short tracks, they run a negative toe on the, you know, so the fronts are spread out, and that way when they go to let off the gas, the front tires spread a little bit more, and when they're getting on the brakes, they can slow down much faster. Now it does cause more tire wear, which is why they bring their toe back in for, like, you know, high speed races, so that way they're not wearing out their tires super fast. But when they're running on like Bristol, they usually have a pretty wide toe set out, so that way when they hit the brakes and, you know, the front end dives down, those front tires spread out and it helps them to slow down a lot faster, which is usually how you would set a car up. But in this game I've been going with the positive toe, which is just weird. I'm wondering if they just kind of got their stuff set backwards or something, I'm not sure. But this car I did leave on default just because it felt good. I felt no need to change it at all on this one. Braking force to the max. As I've said in other videos, 55 feels good to me. Spring length all the way down. I did bring the rear spring length, and then I adjusted the front to level off what was the same as, you know, like what the rear, to have the car level, because you want your center of gravity as level as possible for the best handling. spring stiffness I did bring up a notch. Rear stabilizer I didn't touch, feels good on this car. Camber I did bring up a notch. I don't like to have a whole lot of like negative camber, just enough. You can see like there I have just a little bit of lean. I like to have just a hair on there, and then when you're going through corners, it just helps a little bit. I kind of like it to be almost flat, but just not quite flat. And then as the dampers, I never touch anything. It always feels good in this game, so I feel no need to touch them. But that's it for this video. I'm gonna get out of here, guys. I hope you all have a good one. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. Otherwise, you miss out on future builds, and that's just not a good thing, you know. Help your boy out, hit that subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Have a good one.